fucking shit! This was the best! This was the best WWE-related pay-per-view / special event I have seen this year. I have seen this decade. I would go as far as saying this is one of the best WWE special events I have seen, WWE-related special events that I have ever seen, period. And I have been watching wrestling consistently since 2004, so I've been watching wrestling for over 11 years at this point, and I'm 19, which says this. I've been watching wrestling since I was 8 years old, and I'm 19 now. I've been watching wrestling for 11 years. And out of all of that, I have never seen a pay-per-view / special event produced by the WWE with as much amazing build-up to it, as great / as highly produced pay-per-view as what we saw tonight, and the best pay-per-view / special event executed in WWE history. I loved this pay-per-view, and I'm gonna spoil this for you right now. I'm giving it 5 fucking stars, and let's get in to the match card. Let me pull it up right now, though. Over Brooklyn. I'm telling you, this this was the best fucking takeover show that I have seen. The best NXT special I've ever seen. The best WWE pay-per-view or special event I've seen all fucking year. And I am so glad that I was able to witness such a miraculous pay-per-view, such a miraculous event. It was amazing. I'm trying to pull up my live stream right now. That way I can read your comments. Excuse me. Hold on. Hold on. Let me just pull up the live stream on my computer here. There we go. Load up the comment section. Where's the comment section? Still trying to hook it up. I'll talk about it in a second. Just want to get the comment section up. So that way I can read your comments that you leave me. Here. Give me a second or two. Hold on. I don't want to like start or schedule a live stream per se. I'd rather like live stream it just then and there, which is kind of why I'm having trouble with this. Why won't it display comments? If anybody can tell me how to see the comments, that'd be nice. Wait, chat. Is there a chat? Shit. Nope. Let's Google here. Toolbox. All right, screw it. We're gonna get into it right now. Yeah. All right. So NXT Takeover Brooklyn. Of course, as the title says, we were live from Brooklyn, New York tonight, and we had an attendance of 15,000. 589 people, sold out crowd in the Barclays Center for NXT Takeover Brooklyn, and we start out the night. Well, before that, we had, I guess, matches that will be broadcasted on NXT this Wednesday, I guess, from NXT Brooklyn. So I guess in the same pay-per-view, we're going to see somewhat of the same thing this Wednesday with the next episode of NXT. However, the matches that are going to be on NXT this Wednesday are from what happened here. So, of course, the results from the, I guess, pre-show matches or dark matches were Enzo Amore, Colin Cassidy, Zack Ryder, and Mojo Rawley defeated Jason Jordan, Chad Gable, Scott Dawson, and Dash Wilder. Eva Marie defeated Carmella. Bull Dempsey defeated Elias Sampson, and Emma defeated Becky Lynch, Charlotte, and Dana Brooke. So that was awesome, and that's cool. And we get into the main card. So the first match on the main card, we start out with Jushin Thunder Liger versus Tyler Breeze. This match was really good. I liked how they kind of played it up. I'm losing my voice. I liked how they kind of played it up as Tyler Breeze is I guess supposed to learn a thing or two from Jushin Thunder Liger in the match. However, he's just acting like Tyler Breeze. So throughout the match, he'll hit a move and then he'll go and do his signature pose on the top rope. And I thought that was awesome. I thought that was great character, great keeping of his character that he has. And I think it was really interesting how whatever Tyler Breeze usually does, Jushin Thunder Liger also countered Tyler Breeze's, I guess, stubbornness or whatever it may be. And he would pose on the top rope right after Tyler Breeze did it. And then he would grab the selfie stick of Tyler Breeze's and pose with it. And I like how throughout the match, they just kept trading momentum. Jushin Thunder Liger at one point would be in charge of the match, and then we would have Tyler Breeze in charge of the match, and it would just keep switching up and up. And then whenever, I guess the referee would try to pull Tyler Breeze off him, Tyler Breeze would, he'd lose it. Don't touch me! And he's like, don't touch me! And it was just a great match. Tyler Breeze showed such great character, and in the end, Jushin Thunder Liger hit the Liger Bomb on Tyler Breeze to get the pinfall win. So Jushin Thunder Liger defeats Tyler Breeze. I'm 0 for 1 on my NXT TakeOver Brooklyn predictions. But anyway, 4-star match. It was awesome. And then we get into the second match on the main card, and that is Aiden English and Simon Gotch, the Vaudevillians, with blue pants, challenging Blake and Murphy with Little Miss Alexa Bliss in their corner for the NXT Tag Team Championships. I like how throughout the match, well, let me first say, as I said in my TakeOver Brooklyn preview, as well as my SummerSlam preview, I already heard about the rumors with Blue Pants, I guess, siding with the Vaudevillains. So I was kind of disappointed that I wasn't as into, Blue Pants coming out as I, would have been had I not heard about the news. But oh well, we live in the 21st century. We're exposed to social media and the internet. So I guess as a wrestling reviewer and as a very, very big wrestling fan and as a wrestling commentator, I should be used to this by now. And I am used to it. I'm just kind of upset that I didn't really get as excited about Blue Pants siding with the Vaudevillains as I would have. But we get then Blue Pants siding with the Vaudevillains to keep Little Miss Alexa Bliss from interfering with Blake and Murphy's match or to help them retain. And the match was awesome. It was one of those, I guess, technical tag team matches. And by technical tag team match, I mean you wouldn't really predict, oh, he's going to tag him in now after this move or anything like that. They would tag in and out, and then again, just like Tyler Breeze and Jushin Thunder Liger's match, the match both teams just kept trading momentum. At one point, Blake and Murphy would be in charge of the match, and then at one point, the Vaudevillains would be in charge of the match, and it was just such a great feel, and it's something that we don't usually get from WWE's main roster tag teams. Usually, you'd see one team much like also other singles matches on the main roster, you get one team or one performer taking momentum for the most of the match, and then the other person would, I guess, come back, and very rarely they would still lose the match, but most of the time they would end up winning. And in this case scenario, we didn't have that. We kept trading momentum. And I guess for the most part, Blake and Murphy got a little bit more momentum throughout the match than the Vaudevillians did. But in the end, Alexa Bliss tried to interfere with Blake with the Vaudevillians, was going to go slap Simon Gotch and or Aiden English, but they did this. Blue Pants pulls Alexa Bliss around, slaps her across the face, tackles her, and then, of course, Blake and Murphy try to capitalize with that. However, they are countered on. Simon Gotch sets up Aiden English for the Whirling Dervish. The Vaudevillains hit the Whirling Dervish and get the win 1, 2, 3. And just like that, I'm 0-2 for my NXT TakeOver Brooklyn predictions. The Vaudevillains defeat Blake and Murphy to walk out the NXT Tag Team Championships. Sorry. And I don't have a problem with this. I just think it would have been cool to see Blake and Murphy hold on to the NXT Tag Team Championships for a little bit longer. I mean, it was only 3 months ago that we saw a little Miss Alexa Bliss help Blake and Murphy retain the titles, and I would have liked to see at least maybe another month or two Little Miss Alexa Bliss interfering in Blake and Murphy's matches and continuously helping Blake and Murphy retain the titles, and not just have it go on for 3 months. I mean, if they were to lose to the Vaudevillains at the next TakeOver special, or Enzo Amore and Kyle Cassidy, or the Hype Bros, or Jason Jordan, Chad Gable, or any other tag team on the division, I think that would have been fine, but I don't know. I think it was a little too soon for Blake and Murphy to lose those titles now that you have Alexa Bliss helping them out. And I think it would have built a little bit more character. A little bit more character for not only Alexa Bliss, but also Blake and Murphy as tag team champions. And so now, no longer tag team champions, the Vaudevillains have those titles. I'm just going to wait to see what the Vaudevillains do with the tag team championship belts. And I can't really say that I expect little from the Vaudevillains as a championship reign, or from a championship reign, because I think they will make great tag team champions. I'm just hoping that whoever the Vaudevillains lose or drop the tag team championships to builds up that tag team to be the head of NXT, or to be the next tag team going up to the main roster. But Blake and Murphy and the Vaudevillains put on a solid match, 4 stars worthy, and I move on to the next match. This match was probably, I guess, my lowest rated match on the card, and it was Apollo Crews, a.k.a. Yuha Nation, defeating Perfect 10, Ty Dillinger. And it was an alright match. Of course, Apollo Crews got most of the I don't know how to put this. I forgot the word. I've forgotten the word. Apollo Crews took more. What word should I use to put this together quite well? He took advantage most of the match, of course, and that's going to be expected. I mean, Apollo Crews is debuting, and it's very, very rare in wrestling, professional wrestling, that you see, even in amateur wrestling, that you see someone debuting not win their debut match. It's pretty much 95% all debuters win their debut match, or all wrestlers win their debut match. Of course, that's the exception of like John Cena on the main roster losing to Kurt Angle, or whoever it may be. But Apollo Crews wins this match. It was an alright match. Ty Dillinger, he didn't job to Apollo Crews, which I think was good, because now that he's got this perfect 10 gimmick, I think it would have been stupid for him to job out to Apollo Crews, because that would have kind of damaged his momentum as the perfect 10. So it was nice to see Ty Dillinger put on a solid match with Apollo Crews, and it wasn't just easy pickings for Apollo Crews. So it helps out both Ty Dillinger and Apollo Crews in the sense that Ty Dillinger doesn't have his momentum for his new gimmick taken away, and Apollo Crews gets his debut win. And it was I believe it was a simple gorilla press and then standing moonsault standing moonsault for the pinfall win, and Apollo Crews beats Ty Dillinger. I'm gonna rate that 3 stars, and then move on to that. Well, I don't know what should I or what do I have to say about this match. I'm hoping that Ty Dillinger doesn't let this affect him, or this doesn't affect Ty Dillinger in a negative way from coming off this loss. And I think that perfect 10 gimmick for Ty Dillinger can really help him out heading up to the main roster. If he does head up to the main roster, I'm just hoping that it doesn't affect him negatively, at least not all that much. And I'm looking forward to seeing what Apollo Crews can do inside the ring now that he's gotten his first match over with. And of course, you shouldn't be used to Apollo Crews winning, because now it's going to take a lot of I guess effort to continue to put in wins and solid matches for Apollo Crews. So I look forward to the future of Apollo Crews in NXT. And Ty Dillinger, let's hope he doesn't take this negatively. Next match we go into was what I was expecting to be not the best match on the card, or not the worst. Well, maybe not necessarily the worst match, but the least rated match, because I would have thought it was just going to be a complete brawl. And that was Baron Corbin, the Lone Wolf Baron Corbin versus Samoa Joe. From last Wednesday's NXT, I'm glad to see that Samoa Joe has new theme music, because his old theme music was just too soft for him. So this theme music, I think, fits him perfectly. And Baron Corbin comes out, new Titantron and everything. And he comes out to, of course, a roaring crowd of boos from the NXT fans. And yeah, it was a brawl. It was a very physical confrontation. However, we did get to see what we would usually expect to see from a Baron Corbin match, or from a wrestling match, not Baron Corbin match, but a wrestling match in general. We got some offense outside of the ring. We got some tosses into the barricade. We got some submission holds. We got some strikes. We got some top rope aerial moves. We got continuous pinfalls, and the momentum kind of shifted back and forth. Again, one of the matches that, of course, shifted back and forth. Momentum shifted back and forth, and I really like this about that match. And it all led down to, I believe it was Baron Corbin going for a pinfall, and Samoa Joe kicked out, and Baron Corbin just dropped backwards right into the Koji clutch. And Samoa Joe makes Baron Corbin pass out. So technically he did win by submission, but I count it a win like that as a knockout win and not as a submission victory. I think it was Delexman who tweeted, Samoa Joe chokes a bitch out. Oh, sorry, he put him to sleep. Hashtag NXT Takeover, hashtag NXT Takeover Brooklyn, at Samoa Joe. It was a solid match. I expected a little less from this match because of the fact that Baron Corbin is still very green, and I'll admit that I didn't expect all that much from this match, other than for it to be a powerhouse, a physical brawl, a physical confrontation. But Baron Corbin really proved to me tonight that no matter whether it's with even though it was with a veteran, he can still put on a solid match, and I enjoyed it. So again, Samoa Joe beats Baron Corbin, and Baron Corbin doesn't really lose all that much momentum. I mean, I think this feud is going to continue into the next few weeks, with Baron Corbin trying to avenge his loss to Samoa Joe, and whether he fails at that mission or he accomplishes that mission has yet to be seen. Sorry. But I'm just looking forward to the match. The feud. And I'm just glad that Baron Corbin lost via knockout. It wasn't via submission. It wasn't like he tapped out. It wasn't like he was pinned. So it's not like he can really refuse that he lost and take a cheap heel way out of it and, downplay his loss as something that doesn't matter or as something that was just a fluke win. He was knocked out, so he never submitted. He was never pinned. He was just knocked out, which is, I guess, something that can help Baron Corbin. But at the same time, it can hurt just because you don't really expect Baron Corbin to lose via knockout, not barely to even just lose. But either way, it was a good match, and I guess I'll rate it 3 stars as well. Wasn't the worst match by far. Of course, I would say Apollo Crews and Ty Dillinger was the least rated match on the card. But Samoa Joe and Baron Corbin, I think it was Samoa Joe that really picked up Baron Corbin and brought him to having not having the worst match on the card. And that's what I have to say for that. And I'm looking forward to seeing what Samoa Joe and Baron Corbin do after this feud, whether one is pushed or the other is pushed or both of them are pushed or neither are pushed. I'm just looking forward to seeing what Triple H and the WWE does with Samoa Joe and Baron Corbin. And we get into the 9th match. Well, I'm sorry, not the 9th match, but the next match, which is the first of 2 main event matches, and that is a singles match for the NXT Women's Championship. Sasha Banks defends the NXT Women's Championship against Bayley. And this, I'm going to say, was easily the best match on the card, and one of the best matches I've seen, period. Sasha Banks knows how to put on a great match, and Bayley knows how to put on a great match, so obviously those 2 elements are going to combine, and they are going to burst into something beautiful. And this match was nothing but amazing. And this was definitely miles above Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch. This match really solidified Bayley as the new NXT Women's Champion and as a threat in the Divas division on NXT and even in the WWE period. Of course, Sasha Banks, everybody expected her to lose because she is now on the main roster, because Becky Lynch, and Charlotte are now on the main roster. So it wasn't going to be surprising that Sasha Banks was not going to retain the NXT Women's Championship here tonight. But it was just amazing. And the opening video package that we got really notified me that since Bayley was the target of that video package, it was going to be Bayley's night, and it was Bayley's night. And it was a great match. It went on for almost 20 minutes, and it was just an instant classic. The momentum was shifting between both. One side would have it for a long time, and then the other side would have it for a long time. So many amazing spots. Bayley just going... I believe it was Bayley trying to hit a Hurricanrana or a somersault plancha from the top rope, but failing. And Bayley goes off the top rope and lands neck first. This entire part of her head crushes against the mat. She's upside down, crushes against the mat. And let me find the tweet that I put out. I said... Holy shit again. Bayley must have just broken her neck. That looked awful. I cringed at the sight of that fall from the top rope. But yeah, and not only was it a great match with the momentum shifting back and forth, and it really made you feel like, hey, even though I know Sasha Banks isn't going to win, it still feels like Sasha Banks could win. So many great spots. Sasha Banks flying over the top rope. It was like, I believe it was a seated senton over the referee, over the top rope, and onto Bayley on the outside. It was a great it was a great match. It was great spot. It was so many great spots, and I liked how the storytelling during the match was Sasha Banks was targeting Bayley's injured hand because she did break her, I believe, her left or right hand. So Sasha Banks targeted Bayley's left or right hand, whatever it was, formerly broken hand throughout the match, and Bayley kept overcoming that. And of course, at one point, Bayley hit the Bayley to belly and got a 2 count on Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks locked in the bank statement, and then Bayley almost grabbed the rope and then got pulled back into the center of the ring into the bank statement. And then Sasha Banks countered her own momentum, and Bayley locked Sasha Banks into a crossface. And I believe it was Sasha Banks who got to the rope. And then throughout the rest of the match, we had the fin. It was just great for the rest of the match. Picked up momentum, and then Bayley hits another Bayley to belly and pins Sasha Banks. 1, 2, 3. Here's your winner and the new NXT Women's Champion, Bayley. And then, of course, after the match, Becky Lynch and Charlotte come out and hug Bayley. And then Sasha Banks walks into the match and hugs Bayley. And then Becky Lynch, Charlotte, Sasha Banks, and Bayley all. Becky Lynch, Charlotte, Sasha Banks, and Bayley all stand in the middle of the ring with the four fingers up, so the 4 horsewomen of wrestling, and it's just a beautiful sight at what the future holds for the women's division in not only NXT but for the WWE's main roster. It was just amazing, and great way to end the match. Great way to end Sasha Banks' run on NXT. And great way to end Becky Lynch and Charlotte's run on NXT. And also a great way to set up Bayley's future with, NXT and as the NXT Women's Champion. I love the match. 5-star worthy. And that was not the only 5-star worthy match on the card, because the next match, the main event, it is a ladders match for the NXT Championship. This one it was 3 seconds away from being 30 minutes long. The match got underway 5 minutes before 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I think it was Corey Graves who even pointed out, it's 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If we were on pay-per-view right now, it would be over. This pay-per-view would be over, but we're on the WWE Network, and we're going past our curfew. And I loved that. That was great. That was just a great pick up by the commentators. And, of course, let me tell you, the commentary tonight was just incredible. And we get into it. Ladders match, main event for the NXT Championship. Let me do my introduction here, because I know you love my introductions. Hold on. Let me get to WWE.com. Just want to put in my opening commentary. I usually do this for USW pay-per-views, but right now I'm doing it. I'm going to do it for NXT Takeover Brooklyn, because this pay-per-view was just too good for me not to do my signature chants. Comments are disabled for this video. Let me change that. Shit. I'm sorry if you can't comment on this video. My apologies. I didn't know it was. I didn't know this video. I didn't know this video disabled comments. My apologies. I did not know that. I will change that for the next video that I do. I am very sorry for that. My apologies. Get to the main roster. Sorry, not the main roster. The NXT roster. NXT. There we go. Get to Kevin Owens. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is the main event of the evening, and it is a ladder match for the NXT Championship. Introducing first, in this corner, from Maryville, Quebec, Canada, weighing in at 266 pounds, he is the challenger, Kevin Owens. And his opponent, ladies and gentlemen, in this corner, from Bray, County Wicklow, Ireland, weighing in at 190 pounds, he is the current, reigning, defending NXT NXT champion, Finn Balor. I think I'm pretty spot on. Anyway, we get into the match. It lasts almost a half hour, and it was just physical. It was a beatdown. It was technical. It was high flying moves. It was incredible. I enjoyed every single moment of it. Kevin Owens played the crowd like a violin. Finn Balor played to the crowd's demands like a violin. And I even said on Twitter, I said, I swear, if Kevin Owens or Finn Balor were to throw the other into the crowd and onto the fans, I will use the Lord's name in vain, which you know I don't usually do that often. But sadly, that didn't happen. But it was just an incredible match, physical battle, such grace between these performers. And Kevin Owens, of course, played the crowd like a violin. Finn Balor played the crowd's demands like a violin. The only thing that they didn't get were the tables that they were asking. And of course, I sent a tweet out on that as well. I also didn't know during the match, there was a on the hard camera, you saw the crowd. You know, you're looking at me. Just imagine there are wrestlers fighting right in front of me. This is what you see. And then people filming the phones. I don't know if that was a fight or something, or if people were trying to interfere in the match. I don't know what it was, if there was a confrontation, but something was going on to the side, out of the camera's view, and the crowd noticed it, and they were looking right at it. I don't know what it was. I'm pretty sure we'll hear about something. Well, I'm pretty sure we'll hear about whatever it was, if there was something that happened. And I guess I'll look into that later afterwards, or after this review. But getting back into the match, I enjoy every single second of it. There were so many great spots. Kevin Owens getting tossed, of course, over the barricade by Finn Balor and into the ring area. Kevin Owens being back body dropped onto the middle of the ladder, breaking one of the rungs. I don't think Finn Balor noticed that when he tried to climb it, and it was very unsteady. That's why Finn. And then, of course, the spots such as Kevin Owens trying to do that roll or that seated or that senton, rolling senton into the ladder because Finn Balor moved out of the way and Kevin Owens missed his target. And then Finn Balor hitting the coup de grace. Coup de grace. And the rest of the match was just incredible. You had battles at the top of the ladder, and it all transpired down to, before that, we also had Kevin Owens power bombing Finn Balor onto the ring apron. However, he could not take advantage, and so Finn Balor got back into the match. And Kevin Owens then hit a power bomb on Finn Balor off the ladder, and Finn Balor kept Kevin Owens off took him off the ladder, and then hit the coup de grace on Kevin Owens again. And much like Kevin Owens said, he was going to be the one. Kevin Owens was going to be the one at the top of the ladder. There was not going to be any battle. Finn Balor was going to be incapacitated on the ground. Vice versa happened to an extent. Finn Balor was at the top of the ladder. There was no epic battle, and Kevin Owens was down on the ground, incapacitated, as Finn Balor climbs the ladder, grasps the gold, and pulls it down from the rungs. Ladies and gentlemen, here is your winner and still the NXT champion, Finn Balor. Finn Balor wins. The crowd goes nuts, and the match ends. The pay-per-view ends. And it was just incredible. Of course, small things like I guess the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Invitational is going to be happening, and I guess it's going to be like featuring new tag teams every week leading up to the next Takeover special. And I guess NXT is also going to be taking over. I guess this is a plug for you, WWE. I better be getting paid for it, or not. I don't care. But tickets go on sale August 28th, 2015 for NXT in December, from December 10th until December 16th for NXT invading the United Kingdom. That's awesome. I take it it's going to be featuring episodes of NXT, weekly episodes of NXT. being filmed on December 10th through December 16th. So each week we'll get something from like what we saw in the United Kingdom, somewhat of what TNA did a few years ago when they could do international touring. But yeah, this pay-per-view was just amazing. Finn Balor versus Kevin Owens, 5-star worthy match. Both Bayley and Sasha Banks, as well as Finn Balor and Kevin Owens, both matches were just instant classics. Bayley versus Sasha Banks, match of the year candidate, period. I am certain of that. And then Finn Balor versus Kevin Owens was just an absolute classic. I couldn't have changed anything to this pay-per-view. If I were changing anything about this pay-per-view to make it any better, I wouldn't change anything because it was perfect as it was. And that's how I'm going to end the show. So, of course, my pay-per-view rating for it in total, 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, 5. 5-star pay-per-view or special event, NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. Worth the watch. I am so glad that I decided to purchase the WWE Network last March. Because not only did I get to see WrestleMania 31, I got to see NXT TakeOver Unstoppable, and I got to see NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. And hopefully tomorrow, well, technically tonight, because now it's 12:01 a.m. p.m., or I'm sorry, 12:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here in Connecticut on the East Coast Eastern Time. So yes, tonight, hopefully SummerSlam is going to be just as, hopefully SummerSlam is going to be good. It's not going to be anywhere near as good as this, but hopefully SummerSlam is executed well and the WWE doesn't make so many mistakes. I'm talking to you directly, Vince McMahon. Don't fuck up SummerSlam. You couldn't do anything better than NXT. You couldn't use that WWE Tough Enough as a matchup with NXT. NXT is better than Tough Enough. Tough Enough cannot compare to NXT. And right now, because of this show, NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, NXT has been solidified as the A show in the WWE. Raw and SmackDown can suck my dick. NXT is the A show in the WWE now. And I'm hoping by at least the year 2020, NXT is at least a main roster show. It doesn't feature the main roster. It features its own developmental talent roster. But hopefully, NXT will be what SmackDown used to be. The A show, the second show, but it was the A show. It was the best show, but it was also known as the second show to Raw. The secondary show to Raw, to the primary show being Raw. But SmackDown was the number one at one point. And hopefully, as Triple H being in charge, NXT will always be better than Vince McMahon's main roster show. So with that, I'm going to end my review. Thank you guys for watching. I think this is the most alert I have been in a WWE or USW review in a long time. And I'm just hoping we get something good with SummerSlam tomorrow night, so I have another good thing to talk about in my review tomorrow night. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Remember to like, favorite, and subscribe for more. I'm Zach Hardy, signing off.